Hey everybody, Tina Campbell, the New York Regional Partner of Master Networks. We are a national networking organization, and we're definitely here to help, especially entrepreneurs and business people. We want them to grow and pivot during this difficult time, and really beyond. We're doing this through these lunch and learns, and we're trying to help people by relaying tips, techniques, and tactics for transitioning to this new normal. Today, I'm really excited. I have Liz Gabor with me, and she's going to be talking about mastering the number one success principle now in order to improve your life and your business. So, welcome, Liz. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I
Oh,
greatly appreciate it. I'm really grateful to be here.
thank you. Well, I love that because you're always about gratitude. But so, tell us about yourself if somebody doesn't know you.
Okay. Um, so again, my name is Liz Gabor, and I am a speaker, a success coach, and I really partner with people in prosperity and possibilities. Um, I would define myself, the way I describe myself is as an outgoing introvert. I am an introvert by nature. And I have to say, like, part of me likes this little retreat at home.
I'm sure.
So don't hate me for that. But and I'm also a recovering overthinker. I've been in
I love
recovery
that.
for about 17 years. And so uh, it's all this work that I do really has I've learned the things that I've learned to teach are things that I have learned that I needed to learn for myself. So I know that they work, and I've just really uh, love to share this content with people because it's stuff that people don't learn in school, and I don't know why, and I wish that they did. So I want to my mission is to share this stuff with as many people as I can.
Fantastic. And I know some of the things that you are also you're a yoga instructor, you do a bunch of stuff. So you're coming from a bunch of different what do they call it, modalities, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, they're different things, but they actually, I believe they all kind of build on each other. I mean, they're all basically strategies for living a happy, healthy, like holy life, basically.
Fantastic.
Um, and again, like that's the principles in each of them really kind of do overlap. So meditation is one. I mean, meditation changed my life, but I think it's now more than ever, I think people need it. But it's a way to really get clear with also what is it that you want in your life, because when you get
Mhm.
quiet and you get go inwards, you're able to
Yeah,
really discover what you're about, and
yeah,
and then cultivate what truly matters.
yeah, absolutely. I know you want to share your screen
Oh
and go
yes,
through some of those
that would
this
be
number
great.
one. I'm
Thank
excited to hear what this number one
you.
success principle is.
Okay, great.
You just
Thank
hit
you.
this play from the start.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay. So today I'm going to share with you guys this number one principle of success. It's a formula. It's a formula that basically all the other success principles come from this one. Okay. And it is take 100% responsibility for your life and your results. And I'm really not playing an April Fool's joke on you today.
Oh
um,
yeah, that's right.
um, I really promise you that if you incorporate this one principle and this formula into your life, even during this current situation, actually, especially during the situation, your life will work better. And I know this because I work this principle every day of my life, and my life works better, and my clients' lives and my students' lives works better. And it doesn't matter if you are under quarantine in New York or you're anywhere else on the planet, this principle always works.
Great.
So we want to take 100% responsibility for everything that we experience in our life. Okay, it includes our level of achievements, the results we produce, the quality of our relationships, the state of our health and physical fitness, our bank account, our thoughts and our beliefs, which is a big one. Our beliefs are really nothing more than thoughts we think over and over again.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's everything. And I realize that now more than ever, this is not an easy concept to swallow, but we want to what we need to do is we need to act as if we're 100% responsible for our life and our results.
Got it.
Because if we realize that we created it, we can uncreate it and we can recreate it. Okay. So responsibility is our ability to respond. Okay. It's not reactability. Right? Many of us are really good at we really have competent reactabilities, right?
Or overreactability.
Overreactabilities, exactly. But whereas personal responsibility is the key attitude for personal empowerment. So by adopting this attitude without self-judgment and without self-blame, we can focus our attention on understanding ourselves and seeing our range of choices that may be possible in any given circumstances. Even right now, when we're dealing with COVID-19, with awareness, we can make educated, intentional choices. And there's a simple formula that can help you understand and help you embrace 100% responsibility. And that is E plus R equals O. I'd love you to write this down, memorize it. Events plus our response equals our outcome, okay? The events happen, we can't always control them. Events are happening all the time, and then we're in the face of a huge one right now, as we all know. But we can't control the events, but what we can control is our response, which then will lead to the outcome, how we experience our lives, okay? But what happens oftentimes is people blame the event, right? We blame the government, we blame the virus, we blame the weather, our spouse, our boss, our staff, our clients, our kids, and so on, right? So on and so forth. So many different ways we go about blaming people. And I'm definitely a recovering blamer. But during any challenge and in times of chaos and uncertainty, there is always opportunity. There are always people who are facing the same circumstances, but are committed to being successful and thriving. Take our Miss Tina right here, right? What she's done to rally us together and keep this Master Networks community thriving by continuing to create and support connection for those she serves, right? So she's choosing. Second response, right? Second response is we can instead change our responses to the event until we get the outcome we want. We can change our thinking, we can change our communication, we can change the pictures we hold in our mind, we can change our behavior, what we say and what we do, and all this leads to a new outcome. So that's where our point of power is, in the R, in our response.
Yep.
So I just kind of went over this. We cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we respond. And just a really quick story about my father. My father was sick for 2.5 years with Lewy body dementia. And so the event was that he had this illness that really was stripped away his cognitive abilities, and had a lot of hallucinations and delusions involved. And I made a decision, I made a commitment that every time I visited him once a week, I was committed to going in there with love and with light. That was my response to, regardless of how he was, that was what I was committed to. And the result really was that I felt peace when I left there, and he felt peace. And I had to recommit each week I went. I went through my little process to recommit. But right now so that was like my biggest spiritual assignment with this work, to see if it really works. And I think that right now we've been given this collective spiritual assignment, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I think it's an opportunity. So yeah, we don't want to give our power away to others, for sure. So I do realize that asking people to take 100% responsibility can be overwhelming. So we're going to do a little exercise just to break it down into how we can take 5% more responsibility in a couple of the areas of our life for the outcomes, okay? And I invite any of you who are listening to take out a piece of paper, join us, and I will include this at the end so that people have a sheet that they can go through on their own to go through all of the different areas.
We'll post a link for it in the comment section.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Tina. And I'm going to ask you to play with me a little bit.
Yes, no problem.
Okay. So the first one, if I were to take 5% more responsibility for my life and my well-being, I would. So some things I wrote, I would exercise at least 30 minutes every day. I would get more sleep, at least 8 hours a night. And I would also wake up 1 hour earlier at the same time. So I have to go to bed earlier.
Yeah, what time?
I would drink more water. And just so, Tina, let me ask you if you could just give me 3 examples of how you would answer this question.
Well, you know, it's funny because I think we're very similar in our goals and the things that we do. That, like, I'm not trying to be, not do this with you, but I can't believe you just like nailed it with me too. As far as, exercising, I'd like to actually, I could be more specific. I would like to take, a walk each day, like with my dog, because I think that would be really good for my head. Definitely the sleep and the water. So I would drink, more water. I mean, I don't drink any water, so it's like so bad. I know. So even a little bit would be an improvement.
Great.
That help?
Awesome. All right, let's go to the next one. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for the attainment of my goals, I would. Some of my examples were I would look for opportunities such as this one that I'm doing right now to serve. I would spend an extra hour a day in action rather than watching TV. I would share my goals with family and friends more often in order to ask for accountability. I would post more videos on social. And Tina, let me hear a couple from you.
Yours are really good. In the space of this, short time, I know that I would stop listening to my limiting beliefs. I would not push off people saying thank you to me. Instead, I just need to be able to turn around and just say thank you to them. Just like if they say like you did, appreciate. I almost find myself like when people say thank you for doing what you do, I feel like, oh, don't worry. So maybe I need to just start accepting, the thanks.
Honor your successes. You got to honor your successes,
and that's something
it gives other women, other people permission to really,
I know. I kind of cut it off right there. And I think the other thing is I've really got to get my Audible account in a better, there's books that I want to both read and there's books that I want to listen to, because I think that would be really helpful. So I have to kind of get that Audible account back up and running.
Excellent. I have some good recommendations for you if you want.
I'm sure you do.
Okay. Great. Okay, we'll do one more. If I were to take 5% more responsibility for the success of my relationships, I would. And I wrote, I would plan quality time with my kids, even during this time, and put it in the calendar. I would still have a date night every night with my husband, even if it looks different right now. And I just wrote, I would talk less and listen more.
That's a good one. That's funny. I think the thing is really important. Like my children are not home, and I know that's really hard for some people. They've got little ones, and it's got to be like, they're looking at me like, God, I would give anything for some quiet, right? But it's so quiet here because my kids are in colleges in different states and have not come back home here because it's a difficult time right now. So they're kind of staying in place right there. So I have to I have to make this commitment more. I've been trying to like do things with them on the phone, whether it's like we play like a game on an app or something. It's actually pretty fun when you get to do it. You do a Zoom call with the family. That's another thing. With my my extended family. I'd like to have a Zoom call, so I definitely want to do that more. And it's really probably all revolving around creating more time from with my family and extended family.
Nice. Yeah, having that balance, right? Because you're working so hard, I know. For sure. Great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so this kind of says it all, but we really we do have to give up all blaming, complaining, justifying, defending and excuse making, right? In order to really take responsibility
Yeah,
for
it's
our
really
lives.
hard for some people.
It is hard. It's not easy. Uh, this just says what complaining is and how it just really takes our power away, and it really just is saying that when we complain, we have a reference point of something better that we prefer, but we're not willing to risk creating. And also, it's your activating the law of attraction. Trying, when you're wanting something, you're focusing on something that you don't want. It's going to bring
Right.
more of that, right? So what you choose to focus on grows. So, just would say that just to really try to be intentional with who you're having conversations with, or how long you're having them with people, if they
Yeah.
are trying to really bring you down. Be intentional with what you watch on TV, what you read, be discerning about how much news you're watching right now, and really limit it to just getting the information. Choose one source, get the information. If you want to check in twice a day quickly, and then shut it
Right.
down.
Credible source.
A credible source. See, yeah, disease control. That's what I've been kind of using, and just reading a little bit, and then it's done.
Right.
Don't want it to pollute my whole day.
Right.
But I want to be informed. Of course, we need to be informed.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that. So again, now more than ever, we need to be or to become solution oriented. And I was going to tell a story about this boy named Maddie, but we'll do that on a longer call.
Good.
So you guys remember Dr. King's famous speech,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I have a dream.
I have a complaint. No.
You got me.
No, he said, right? I have a dream. He had a visionary mindset.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so we want to really emulate that. This is just a quick exercise. Just we're not going to go through our notes, but I want you to just think about things that you have to do. Like, we have to pay our taxes, we have to stay home, we have to socially, distance ourselves, right? We have to cook for our family maybe more. We have to do clean the house more than usual maybe. We have to pay the bills, and I'm going to suggest to you that no one really can make you do anything, right? There's always a choice. There's always a choice to agree to it or not. However, there are consequences to our choices. So we know that if we don't pay our taxes, we could go to jail, but it's still a choice. So I am suggesting that we reframe that, and we say those phrases over with saying, I get to, right? I get to do the dishes because I have food for my family.
Yeah.
I get to, or I choose to pay my taxes because I'm blessed to live in this community, or, so just to reframe have to's with get to and choose to. Again, it makes you just feel better about what you're doing.
Oh, it does, totally.
Yeah, right? I really try to use that a lot, and it makes things just feel better.
I think I'm going to make a little sign in front of my desk that says that.
Yeah, right? And
It's
it feels different.
Yeah, it's so interesting because there's so many people now that I bet you when you're hearing the complaint, you're probably going to be very aware of it. You're probably very aware when people are in that mode. Is that correct?
Yes, very much so.
Right.
Yeah, and
Very
I mean,
interesting.
And it's not that I don't listen to people, and I hear them, and and I honor whatever people are feeling. I just know that it just takes you around and around and around, and it doesn't lead to you feeling better or solutions really. So
yep.
okay, so
We've got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, I'm going to try to move quick. All right, so we're dealing with this event of COVID-19, and it may look different, right? Like you were saying earlier, depending on your unique circumstances, could be having to stay home with your kids, little kids, and depending on their ages, whether you have to homeschool them or how how you respond is depends on how old they are. You may not be able to go to work, or you may work in healthcare, from the janitorial staff to the surgeons, right? You may
Wow.
be on the front lines, and I honor you and I bow with gratitude
Absolutely.
to all of you. Or we may live alone and feel isolated. We have relatives who are in the hospital or living facilities where we're not allowed to visit. We have
Yeah.
that going on right now. And so, whatever your personal circumstances are with regards to this crisis, we want to acknowledge it. And then, when we're ready, we want to focus on that space between the E and the R, the most sacred space of our lives. Okay. So, we want to think about what are our options moving forward? How are we going to be more intentional about creating a positive response? So for me, I'm committed to having a positive mental attitude. These are some of my 7 keys to thriving, which I'll also post for you guys. But for me, my number one job is to protect my mind from negative space. Right? It's a decision, and so I ask you guys, what do you commit to today, tomorrow, the next day? Maybe commit to keep going, commit to
Yeah.
success, commit to being a leader. It could be a leader in your home, in your community, on social, with your friends and your family. The world needs leadership more than ever, right? So in these disruptive, uncertain times, choose to be a leader in whatever form that means to you. Maybe commit to creating community and connection for those that you serve, for your customers, your clients, so that they feel that they are a part of something, right? Like Tina's doing. I'm gonna give you a nod again,
I'm
Tina.
trying. I'm
What are you gonna
trying.
say? Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
So we want to just find ways to bring our people together. People are doing it really creatively. Like you were saying, I have 4 childhood friends I meet Friday nights for happy hour with from all over the country. And it's like
Mhm.
we're having such great, meaningful conversations. There's a woman I saw online that she had her whole building. She sent little notes under the door for each in her building to come out, open the windows at 2 o'clock and sing happy birthday to her fiance. And it was such a great creative way to like honor his birthday and like make it something that he'll
Yeah.
never forget.
Yeah.
So one last thing, I personally found that the best response to stress or uncertainty is gratitude, and it always has been. It immediately shifts me from a scarcity to abundance mindset and from
Yes.
fear to love. Reminds me I have enough, there's enough to go around, and it'll always be okay. And I really believe it's one of the most important concepts for our mental and physical health right now is to have gratitude. Gratitude allows us to combat fear and uncertainty because it turns whatever it is that we have, which may feel very limited right now, into enough. And lastly, we always have a choice about our attitude. This is a quote from Viktor Frankl. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning. He was a Holocaust survivor who lived in horrific, obviously, conditions. And he said, everything can be taken from a man, for a man or woman, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way.
Awesome.
So I invite you to choose hope, choose love, choose to have a positive mental attitude. You can shrink during this time or you can choose to grow during this time. And you can always choose to find opportunities in creative ways in order to be successful during this time. Lean into possibility. I think that with everybody, the sickness and people losing their lives, I think it's really a call for us to live fully right now
Right now.
in the present moment. So
I agree. So, I want
thank
to
you.
say thank
Any
you. 2 things that I've been saying to people, and there's 2 things you can control out of this whole situation. 2 things. One is your attitude, and the other one is your actions. Your actions. Those are the 2 things. That's it. So you have to, like you said, lean in. I love that. Lean into that. Lean into the positivity. And so, if somebody wants to talk to you about what you do with your life coaching, your
Yeah,
success coaching, your yoga, all the things that you're doing, is there a way that I guess we'll put some contact information or your
absolutely.
lizgabor.com which will go to maybe a Facebook group, and people can just find you that way,
I
correct?
could give my phone number and my email, and I'm available to help anybody during this time of struggling. I have a conversation, and just I can offer if I can offer to support you and help you and anybody in any way. It's my pleasure. It's what I do. It's what I love to do, and what I'm here to serve.
Great. Can you unshare your
Yes,
and
thank
share
you.
your so we can just sign off with each other? And I just want to say, Liz, my life is better for knowing you.
Aw,
And it's been, I can't believe it's probably only been like a year or two that I've really got to know you. And it just seems like obviously, it was meant to be. And you're one of the people that, I really think you are a leader in your space. And I thank you so much for just, helping me. It helps me just to talk with you. So thank
aw.
you for this. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure and an honor, and I appreciate you very much too.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you. So, anybody, any questions, comments, we'll go in the, we'll put this out over social media. They can get touch with, you or myself. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what you do next, because I know you're on to like the next thing and, that you're working on. So we'll do this again.
Okay,
Okay.
great. I would
Thank
love to.
you.
Thank
Thank,
you. Be well, be safe.
thank you. Bye.